Okay, so if you know me or if you saw my review, you know I'm a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's my favourite Marvel film of them all. And that means that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 has finally hit cinemas, and honestly, it couldn't come soon enough. Straight away, this feels like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The team is like definitely feeling more like a family this time, which was really nice to see. Like straight away, these characters are thrown straight into the action, um, and you just see them, interacting with each other. They've got the banter. They're just, getting on well. They're fighting. They're side by side, and it really feels nice to see because when you see them get together in the first one, obviously they don't get on at first, and then in this one, it's like, yeah, they actually feel like a proper family this time, which you can tell some time has passed, and that was great. I mean, if you save the world together, that's probably going to happen, and it just makes sense. So yeah, the film follows primarily Star-Lord, Peter Quill, who goes on a quest sort of to find his father. I mean, I say sort of, I don't want to say what actually happens because you guys should watch the movie. But yeah, he goes on a quest for his father is the short part of the story. And the other Guardians are there too, doing their own sort of thing, which again I don't really want to spoil. So the only thing I can really say about the movie, because a lot happens, is that Peter Quill finds his father, played by Kurt Russell, which also feels a bit like a spoiler, but it was in the trailer and it happens early into the movie, so I guess it's not a spoiler at all. So yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy are back together, and that's what happens. My biggest complaint with this movie is I like the movie a lot. I think it's great. I think it's a really fun movie. My biggest complaint is Rocket's character because at first he was such a dick. Like I know in the first one he was a bit of a douchebag, and that was the main part of the story. His character even. And in this one, he came across a little unlikable at first. I mean, I still love him. He's still my favorite Guardian, and they did correct it in the end. But he just comes across a bit unlikable at first, and I didn't like that. But yeah, biggest standout in this movie, Yondu, and that was a big surprise to me because Yondu definitely wasn't one of the strongest characters in the first one because he doesn't do much. But yeah, he was really good in this movie. Michael Rooker really did put in a great performance as Yondu, and Yondu really delivered in this film. He has such a deep character arc. He has more of a character arc than a lot of the actual Guardians do from the first one. I mean, Drax, Gamora, they have their own sort of arcs, but Yondu actually outshone all of them. But Drax is great in this, he's so funny. And the best part of this movie is definitely the humour. It's not too strong on plot. I mean, I quite liked the plot and the direction it went in the end, but it's not too strong on it. And it's mostly about the humour, and what you enjoyed from the first one is definitely present in this one. So it's not a huge complaint that the plot's not that strong because it doesn't always have to be. But I thought I should just address that. But yeah, when this film's funny, a lot of that is due to Drax. Drax is hilarious in this film, and Baby Groot, he's as cute as you expect him to be. But I feel like they never actually really milked him, which was good. Like, he has a lot of screen time and he does a lot that contributes to the humor along with Drax, but I feel like with both of them they never became like really dumb. And I mean, Baby Groot's supposed to be dumb, but I mean they never became so dumb and unbearable to watch. They were never milked on the screen. And obviously the new additions to the Guardians team being Yondu and Nebula. Nebula's story is pretty deep, and her story with Gamora, it gives Gamora a bit of development as well. And I thought, that was well needed because at first I felt like Gamora wasn't really doing a lot, but when Nebula comes onto the scene, yes, she does, have her own arc as well. But yeah, like I said, the whole thing is the story between Ego and Star-Lord in the forefront, and it was done well. I mean, at first they took Kurt Russell's character in a direction that I didn't really like at first, but in the end I turned out to really like that. And I thought that what they did by the end of the movie involving Peter Quill's father, which I'm gonna make a spoilers video purely for that reason, but I feel like what they did in the end did work. But at first I was sort of thinking, I don't know if I like this, but yeah, it turned out to be a very good thing. So it was great. I mean, even just from the beginning, you can tell that the sort of the color palette and the visuals and everything, it's all upped from the first one. James Gunn knows what he's doing with this sequel, and it really feels like a standalone movie as well. A lot of these Marvel films, I love pretty much all of them, but a lot of them feel like set up for other Marvel films. And while this one has that in there, mostly for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 though, it was never in your face or anything. It really felt like its own standalone movie, and I really appreciated that because it felt like I was just watching the movie that I had decided to go and watch instead of trailers for loads of other movies. So if you've heard that there's 5 post-credit scenes, that's true. None of them really are set up as such, but definitely stay for those because they're great. What I can say about this movie is that the humor is pretty much on point 90% of the time. Sometimes, there's a joke that will fall flat and it doesn't work, but that's pretty much of every movie you'll go and see. I mean, Chris Pratt again just puts in a great performance. I feel like Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone are both really good additions to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, Sylvester Stallone doesn't do much in this movie, but I heard that he's going to be in future Marvel films, and I feel like his character really would fit into Marvel. I mean, Sylvester Stallone was just born to be, here. Mantis was a good addition. I really liked her character. She had a lot of funny scenes, and her relationship with Drax was really good. This movie surprised me with the actual relationships between characters, because I knew it was going to be Star-Lord and Kurt Russell's show, and they do have good chemistry, but, Rocket and Yondu, Mantis and Drax, it's characters you wouldn't expect, and they go like really well together, and I really like that. So yeah, the movie has great visuals. It has humor that mostly hits. The characters again are great. Sometimes they feel a little off at first, especially Rocket. Actually, he's the only one that really feels off at first, but he gets back to his old ways, and he's really good in the end. But yeah. Overall, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is probably the most fun you're going to have in cinemas at the moment with the films that are out, so I definitely recommend you go and watch it. I really enjoyed it. Don't know if I enjoyed it much as the first. At the moment, I'm saying I'd probably put them on par with each other, but I need to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 again to really decide. But I'll definitely be adding it to my MCU Blu-ray collection, and I definitely recommend people go see it. If you like the first one, then what are you doing? You should have seen this already. If you're not a fan of the first one, this one's probably not going to win you over. But, it was a very enjoyable film, and I had a very, very good time with it. So have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? If you have, comment below and let me know what you thought. And stay tuned for a spoiler talk video, which I'll probably upload at the end of the weekend, so people do have a chance to go and watch this movie. So it'll probably come around Monday sort of time. So yeah, let me know what you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I'll be back very soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back in the next video.